What happens when one of Hollywood's most loved actors walks into a live television interview and everything goes in a direction no one expected? When the cameras are rolling, the studio audience is watching, and a simple question turns into a moment that catches everyone off guard. Before we dive into what actually unfolded between Ryan Reynolds and Joy Behar on The View, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling us what you think about celebrity interviews that go off the rails. Now let's get into what became one of the most talked about daytime TV moments in recent history. Ryan Reynolds stepped onto the set of The View with that familiar charm. The studio audience instantly erupted into loud cheers as he made his way to the table where the hosts were seated. Joy Behar sat in the center, ready to lead the segment. The energy in the studio was bright, buzzing the way it usually does when a huge star appears on a live show. Ryan Reynolds, everyone, Joy announced as the applause went on. "Welcome back to The View. Thanks for having me," Ryan said, settling into his chair. "It's always nice to be here. So, let's jump right in," Joy began, leaning forward slightly. "You've got a new project coming soon, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But before we get there, I want to touch on something that's been online lately. There's been some discussion about comments you made about the entertainment industry and how it approaches certain political topics. Do you remember what you said?" Ryan's smile stayed, but there was a hint of caution behind it. "Joy, I've said a lot of things the past few months. You'll have to be a little more specific." "Well," Joy continued, "you mentioned in one interview that Hollywood sometimes talks at audiences instead of entertaining them. That caused quite a stir. Some felt you were dismissing the importance of certain conversations." "I don't think I was dismissing anything," Ryan replied, keeping his tone calm. "What I said was that audiences are smart. They're capable of thinking for themselves. They don't need to be lectured. There's a difference between telling a story that makes people think and telling people what they must think." Joy nodded, but there was something in her eyes that showed she wasn't totally satisfied with that answer. "But don't you think celebrities have a responsibility to use their platform to speak on important issues?" she asked. "Of course," Ryan said, "but there's a way to do that without pushing away half the people watching. When entertainment becomes more about delivering a message than delivering a story, a lot of viewers tune out. We've seen that happen a lot." One of the other hosts jumped in, trying to lighten the moment. "So what you're saying is, we should all just stick to making people laugh?" Ryan chuckled softly. "I'm saying there's an art to it. You can talk about serious things. You can inspire people, but you have to trust them. When you push too hard with your own point of view, it stops being entertainment and becomes something else." Joy leaned in again, her tone sharper now. "But Ryan, some people argue that staying quiet on major issues is still taking a stance. Staying neutral helps whoever already has power." "I never said anything about staying quiet," Ryan responded, still measured but firmer now. "I'm talking about how you communicate. You can speak up without turning every interview, every project, every moment into a speech. People watch movies and shows to escape, to feel something. If they wanted a lecture, they'd enroll in a class." The audience reacted to that, some nodding, others shifting in their seats. Joy's jaw tightened. "So you think what we do here on The View is lecturing?" she asked, her tone cutting. Ryan hesitated only a second. "I think the show has its format, and it works for your viewers. But it's not what I do. I'm an actor. I tell stories, and I think the strongest stories trust the audience to make their own choices." "That sounds like a cop-out," Joy said, refusing to back down. "It sounds like you want it both ways. You want people to think you care about issues, but you don't want to take a clear position because it might hurt your box office numbers." The entire room went still. The other hosts exchanged quick, uneasy looks. Ryan's expression tightened, though he kept his composure. "That's not fair," he said quietly. "And it's not true." "Then what is true?" Joy pressed. "Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're more focused on being likable than being principled." Ryan took a slow breath, clearly choosing his words with care. "Joy, I think there's a misunderstanding here about what my job actually is. My job is to entertain, to tell stories that connect with people. That doesn't mean I don't have values. It doesn't mean I don't care about the world. It means I know that not everyone watching wants politics every time they sit down to relax, but you have millions of followers. Joy pushed again. You have influence. Doesn't that come with responsibility? It absolutely does, Ryan said, and I take that seriously. But I also think it's important to respect people with different viewpoints. Not everyone sees the world the same way, and that's fine. When we start expecting everyone to think exactly the same, we're not having discussions anymore. We're just shouting. The tension in the room was growing thicker by the second. So you think I'm shouting at you right now? Joy asked, her tone sharp. I think we're having a heated discussion, Ryan answered. But I also think you're trying to put me into a position I never took. You're presenting a choice where either I agree with everything you think or I'm somehow morally wrong. I'm trying to understand your position, Joy fired back, because frankly, Ryan, it feels like you want all the benefits of fame without any of the responsibility. Ryan's jaw flexed slightly. The audience was silent, sensing the moment was turning serious. That's not what I'm doing, Ryan said, his voice slower and firmer. And honestly, Joy, what you're doing right now is what's wrong with so much public conversation today. Instead of listening, you're trying to score points. You're painting me as a coward because I won't repeat your exact beliefs on command. Joy's eyebrows shot up. Excuse me, I'm talking about responsibility and accountability. No, Ryan said, shaking his head. You're trying to push me into saying things your way, and I'm not going to do that. I came here to talk about my work, my projects, my stories. Instead, you've turned this into an interrogation about my politics. Another host finally tried stepping in. Maybe we can all just take a breath and no, Joy cut in quickly. I want to finish this conversation. Ryan, if you feel attacked, maybe it's because you can't defend what you're saying. Ryan let out a short, surprised laugh. Defend what exactly? Not agreeing with you. Believing audiences deserve some credit. Wanting entertainment to be entertainment. In maintaining the systems that benefit you while others suffer, Joy said sharply. In prioritizing your comfort over justice. The entire room froze. Those words hit like a shockwave. Ryan stared at her for a moment. When he spoke, his voice was controlled but undeniably angry. You don't know me, he said quietly. You don't know what I do with my time or my resources. You don't know who I support or what I stand for when the cameras are off. You only know what I choose to share publicly. And I keep things private because I believe in being humble, not turning every good act into a broadcast moment. That's convenient, Joy said, her tone dripping with disbelief. It's not convenient, it's deliberate, Ryan replied, his voice rising. I don't need to perform my values for you or anyone. I don't need to pass some purity test you created. Joy leaned back, her expression firm. I never said I have contempt for audiences. You don't have to say it, Ryan said. Your whole argument suggests you believe viewers need someone to guide their thinking. That's not respect. That's condescension dressed up as concern. People in the audience gasped softly. Some nodded. Others looked stunned. I think you're twisting my words, Joy said, but there was an edge of defensiveness now. I'm responding to what you said, Ryan answered. You questioned my integrity, my motives, my principles. You accused me of caring more about money than doing what's right. You accused me of avoiding anything controversial for personal gain. Those are huge claims, Joy.